It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
This is the Two Cats, One Dog podcast.
Yes, the Two Cats, One Dog podcast, a truly distasteful radio program that covers true tales of the strange, morbid, and paranormal. These men should be removed from the airways and should not be heard or taken seriously in any way. What you are about to hear may disturb you.
I just want to be pure.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Two Cats, One Dog podcast. My name is Daniel Martin. To my right is Jeffrey Lee.
That's me.
That's him.
Hi.
That's him. We are back. We're back.
We're back.
And we're
so
on.
back,
we're
baby.
so back, dude.
Oh.
And we're on video now. So hello, everybody. You can see us. We can't see
Yeah.
you, and that's probably good. Dude, that was such a. I just rewatched The Ring. The Ring is amazing.
Dude,
I
it's
love
such
that
a,
movie.
It's such a good fucking
It's
movie.
a great horror movie.
I watched it for the first time when I was in the 8th grade. And the reason why I know that is because we watched it in school.
You watched it in school?
We watched it in class.
But why?
Okay, so this girl, we'll have to edit this out. So
Just make up a name. There you go.
that was her actual name.
Fuck.
I fucking Craig. So
Okay.
Craig was like because we had like a free day, right?
Right.
And instead of like nowadays, they just don't have kids go to school for like teacher planning days and shit. Back in the day, they would just pick a movie, and we'll all watch it together. And she picked The Ring.
Why? But there's got to be like a filter that should get
You
through.
would think that some
Like,
of the adults
I can't
would have
say like,
watched
hey,
it.
my submission is Backdoor Sluts 9.
Yeah,
Like I can't say that. Well, I guess I could.
it's no Naughty Nurses too. I'll tell you that.
It's well, dude, you should have seen Naughty Nurses 2.5, dude. All the extra, all the uncut. Yeah, you're right. So yeah. She made The Ring the movie of the week.
She did, and we watched it. So it was like, in the 8th grade, we were separated into multiple classes. There were like 4 different classrooms operating at one time, and we all watched it at the same time. And so, yeah, we watched it. It freaked the fuck out of me because I really didn't watch a lot of horror movies. I was like 12.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't really watch a lot of horror shit. Freaked the fuck out of me. And then it was funny because then after the movie, like we would call the other rooms and, do the thing.
Oh yeah, it's 7 days. 7 days.
And then hang up. But it's just wild that we got to watch a horror movie in school. just
And you got to call
no
other
fucking
rooms?
reason. Yeah.
Where the fuck did you go to school? Like fucking LA, like Matthew McConaughey high? Yeah, we ordered a pizza. We watched The Ring. We were just giving the other classroom a call to see how they were doing. I set a couple brewskis down there.
That same year, I saved my friends from seeing a titty. I protected their innocence.
You protected them?
I did.
Are they still protected?
No.
Damn.
No.
Damn.
After high school, I stopped trying to defend their
When's the
chastity.
last time do you think you remember trying to be a goody two shoes? Like, do you remember like a last moment where you're like, you know what? I'm gonna be bad. I'm gonna or like
Okay.
I'm not going to try to save somebody anymore. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be I'm not gonna be a hero.
So this might surprise some of our listeners, but I was a huge fucking nerd in high school.
Yep.
I had a group of friends, but like we didn't party and shit. Like my first beer was at my graduation party. It was the first time I ever drank a beer.
And it was non-alcoholic. It was a NA.
No, it was a Budweiser. It was.
a Bud NA.
Bud NA. A Budna. It was a Budna.
It's a Budna. It's a Budna.
But this is how much of a fucking I wouldn't say I was sheltered because like my parents didn't care like what video games I played. They didn't care what movies and shit I watched. But I internalized this mindset of like this purity mindset where like the first time I got invited to a party was when I was 16. And it was our buddy Jake from
State Farm.
from State Farm. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I couldn't. Okay. I'm sorry.
And I was like, I don't even know what insurance is. Why are you trying to sell me a plan? I don't know it. I don't have money. I don't have a job.
what are premiums?
What are premiums?
What's my deductible?
How do I make a claim?
Are those khakis?
Anyway, so my buddy Jake, he was this emo kid that we went to computer networking with, and he invited us to a party. And I distinctly remember sitting in my room and writing in my journal about how like conflicted I was about going to this party
My God.
because I knew that there were going to be drugs there. I knew that there were
Amazing.
going to be weed. There was going to be weeds.
There's gonna be weeds.
There was going to be alcohol.
and alcohol. Is that the extent of the drugs that were to be
Oh, there was
there?
also salvia. I knew because like
Okay, well, salvia's
was
kind of fucked. But you
salvia
guys
is
didn't-
really fucked.
It's really fucked, but that's still kind of innocent because you could buy it at a head shop.
Exactly.
It's not
It
like you
was
guys were
legal at
doing
the
coke.
time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like you were doing coke or heroin or something like
yeah,
that.
but I knew that. Yeah, they were way into salvia. They're emo kids. I didn't like emo music at the time.
Hold up. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
My phone
Your
just
phone
fucking
dying?
died. We're
Oh.
just gonna go. The first time you stopped being a goody two shoes.
Yeah. Okay.
kind
The
of?
first time I stopped. This is like the last time I remember.
Yeah, bring us there.
Being
Yeah,
a goody
exactly.
two-shoes
Bring us there.
Was writing in my journal about this party that I was conflicted about.
And I love the idea of writing in a fucking journal. Like you're like, dear diary, today I got invited to a party. There's going to be drugs. There might be prostitutes.
Right. I don't want this to
I don't want any of
affect
this
my
at
moral
all.
fiber. Like those were like my exact words. Was like I don't want this to degrade me in the eyes of the Lord.
Oh my god, dude, we were both so fucking cooked by the Christian religion.
So fucking cooked.
I was too. We'll talk about that in a
So
bit.
cooked.
You go first.
And like to this day, I'm like, I wish I would have gone. Like, I wish. Who knows?
Wait, you
where
didn't
I
go
would
to the
be now.
party?
Of course, I didn't go to the party.
No,
Of course not. Because I knew there would
No.
be drinking and drugs and women, and I'm afraid of all those things at this point.
And you still are.
I still am terrified. Still am terrified. 36 years old, terrified of women, terrified of drugs.
I mean, you should be. I mean, honestly, if you lived a life terrified of women, drugs, and alcohol, you would probably be a billionaire right now.
Dude, that's actually a really good point.
It's a good point. It's funny.
point.
Someone I have a really good buddy of mine, and he's very successful. He has a lot of businesses. He was like, Dan, he's like, you're not drinking, you're taking coding classes, you're not going out and partying. He's like, you're on your way. You're like, you're not dating. You're on your way to becoming a millionaire. And I was like, holy shit. Actually, if I kept that up for like a year or two, I probably would have been doing a lot better. But so you are.
Okay, so we're bringing it back to
You missed the party. You missed the party.
I did. I skipped the party. I regret it to this day. So if you're a teenager
regret
and there's
it.
some sketchy shit going on at a party,
Fucking be there.
just be there.
Be
Just
there.
Be there for
Just
it.
be.
My
You don't
God.
have to be doing the sketchy shit,
No,
but just be there.
Observe the sketchy.
Observe
shit.
it.
At least know that it's what's
Be a
happening.
fly on the wall to the crazy shit because that is going to make a good story in 10 years.
Because you're only a teenager one time. There's only one time to.
Well,
to
technically,
fuck
you
up
are a
this shit.
teenager. What?
Okay, so like
7 times,
multiple days.
Okay,
over a period of.
Or how many times are you a teenager? 6. Because you're
I would say
13,
from
14,
Yep.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 7 times. Seven times you're a
7
teenager.
times you get to be a teenager.
Mhm.
7 years worth of teenaging.
Yep, that's crazy. It's such a small amount of your life.
I know. It's like nothing in
Yeah.
the grand scheme of things.
Dude, my teens were fucked.
Were they?
Yeah. So, but you were a goody two shoes.
I was a goody two shoes. I was just a nerdy kid with really bad acne who just like, I had a small group of friends and they were all really mean to me, but I love them to this day.
That's how nerds are. They're mean to each other.
They
dude.
helped. Yeah. They kept me humble.
That's good.
And then I turned 18. I graduated high school. I had my first beer at my graduation party, and like literally 3 months later, I was dropping acid in the middle of fucking nowhere
That's insane.
with people I'd never met.
That's such a fucking drastic change. Like, it's such a small period.
Dude, it was nuts. It was crazy. Because my girlfriend, my very first girlfriend, I started dating this woman that summer after I graduated.
Was it the one that crashed your Pontiac?
Yes.
Fuck yeah,
Yep,
dude.
yep.
Hell yeah.
Which I don't hold it against her.
No.
No,
But we
no.
just talk about it once in a while.
No
we
problem.
talk about
It
how
is
she fucked
it is
up
really
that,
funny.
that Pontiac.
It didn't really. She just went up on a curb in the snow, and it was like I was like freaking out because it was my first car, and I was 18, and I was
And
like,
you were a
"Ah!"
nerd. And you
I
were
was
a
huge
nerd.
Fucking.
So you're like, what the fuck, bro? A woman came into my life and she wrecked my car.
That's.
now I have to
I
pay-
should have
I
fucking
should have
taken
seen
that
this.
lesson to heart. Is what I should have done, but I didn't.
Oh, shit.
And the first time I smoked weed was with her, and she had just this dry ass shit in her drawer.
Was it like Mexican brick
It
weed?
was, yes, some Mexican brick ass
Fuck
shit.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
then we
that's
rolled into a
awesome.
Jaybird and smoked, and I was like, okay, this is okay. And then I I smoked fucking salvia. like a month later.
Cut that. Cut
Yeah, we'll
that.
have to cut.
But so you were smoking salvia with him, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
just nothing happened.
Yeah, in my buddy's house, we were just
But something
chilling.
happened to you.
Oh, so many things happened to me.
How many people were with you?
Probably about 7 or 8 of us.
Damn,
hanging out.
that would
in-
freak me
in
out
my
if I was
buddy's
tripping
upstairs.
in a group of people.
No, they were
like,
gone. They were gone.
Gone like not like tripping or gone like they
okay,
left?
so like the very first time I smoked salvia, like everybody just kind of got like a glow, like I could see everybody's aura. And I was just laughing like an idiot, and I was just like, "This is amazing. Why doesn't everybody do drugs?"
Yeah.
What-
No, drugs are the solution to most of life's problems.
Yeah, I've had a few of them.
But run me down a salvia trip.
Okay.
I want to know what it looks
So
like.
salvia, you have to. It's kind
I've
of
never
like
done
it's
it.
kind of like DMT, where like you have to like you hit the whole bowl and you have to inhale it for like 30 seconds. So you hit the whole, hold it for 30 seconds or so. By the time you hit like 20, 21, that's when shit starts to go wonky.
Oh, so it's almost like doing anesthesia in the sense that as you're counting down,
Yeah.
it starts to hit.
Yep.
Okay, that's
exactly.
probably part of the ritual and the idea that you kind of want to do that to kind of put your mind in the spot of like, okay, we're counting down to lift off, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then it was different every time, but it's a huge dissociative, which means that it separates you from who you are. Like your ego is
Yeah.
gone. Like you as a person is gone. You're just like exist as this being, and all this weird shit starts happening. And a lot of people don't like it for obvious reasons. Me, I was like, this is the coolest shit I have ever experienced. Like, what the fuck? I remember doing it. I was like 19
You're like
years
literally
old.
chasing the dragon.
No, I literally chased a man named Mr. Kaiser. So there's this guy. I was looking at, I think I was at work, and I was hanging out in her apartment. And I smoked some salvia by myself. And I was looking at the fan, like this oscillating fan. And then all of a sudden, there was this guy on a train. He was a conductor of a train. His name was Mr. Kaiser. And I chased him into the couch cushions. She walked in the fucking door, and I'm like, my head is buried in her couch cushion. Like, Mr. Kaiser, you fucking son of a bitch, I'm gonna get you. Come here,
Dude,
buddy.
no way. Can you imagine being on the other end of that? Can you imagine not being you at that moment and walking in, you just see your fucking boyfriend's face completely enveloped in a couch, like screaming? And you're like, dude, what the fuck did you do? I was gone for 10 minutes.
Yeah, so yeah, salvia is a trip. It's a good time. They made it illegal in 2010, unfortunately. Listen,
How long's it been? It's been
drugs are bad.
15 years? It's been illegal for 15 years now?
It has.
Because you used to be able to just buy it at a head shop.
Yeah, you could just go
at
to a head shop and buy. They had multiple strengths you could buy.
Yeah. I wasn't, when you guys were doing this, I was 12, 13, so I wasn't quite there yet. But I'm sure I would have experimented with salvia. And here's the fucked up thing. I'm about to tell a pretty personal story on the podcast here. This is going to be awesome. But when I was 18-ish, 17, 18, I almost died from smoking a thing called Space, which was a synthetic marijuana. It's made up of mostly ragweed and like other just shit that they throw together.
Yeah.
And then it goes through a factory and they spray it. It gets hit with these, it's like a synthetic weed spray.
It's like a THC derivative.
Yes. So what they do is
sprinkle
they obviously THC, that's the molecular aspect of weed that gets you high. And now in the year that we are in, and for a long time, we've been able to synthesize that in a lab, but it's just not, there's just not quite the same. There's just something a little different about it. And these companies, in order for it to stay, because obviously weed, THC as a substance, is illegal on a federal level.
It's still Schedule 1.
It is as of 2025. Still, for some fucking ridiculous reason, it is a Schedule 1 drug. So it is very non-kosher to be dealing with. If you're a multi-million-dollar corporation, you're trying to make money. You got to pay your taxes. You got to fucking do everything kind of by the book, so to speak. So to do this, they would get around it by making their own chemical compositions. So it would be THC, but enhanced by one little fucking molecule. One little atom is changed a little bit.
Which makes a huge difference.
It does make a huge difference. And so what they did was they recreated THC, and then they changed it just a little bit to make it legal to sell. And then as the FDA tries to catch up with these things that they're making, they're just changing and tweaking stuff again and again and again, just a little bit each time to stay one step ahead of the lawmakers and one step ahead of the court so they can continue to sell this shit on the shelves. Eventually, I think by like 2014, 2015, the shit got kind of or I shouldn't even say that, maybe by like 2017 latest, they started to finally clamp down on that market really hard. I don't know exactly what it was. I'd love to look into it. It could have had something to do with the Trump administration. I don't know. But all I know is that when I was 18 years old, and I just gotten in trouble from my parents from smoking real pot. They found out, and I wasn't like a huge pothead. I had done it maybe 4 or 5 times. We'll say 4 or 5 times. I think I drank maybe once or twice, but I was still, I think, in high school, and they didn't. I mean, you don't want your kid fucking smoking pot and drinking when you're in high school. I totally understand that as now an adult. But when I was a kid, I was like, well, fuck you guys. Like, what the fuck? So I got pissed. My mom found out I smoked and drank, and she was real upset with me, and she threatened to drug test me and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna lay low and keep it easy for a while. I don't need to. I'd only smoked a few times. It's like, I don't need to do anything bad. I'll just kind of chill. And I kind of did that for like a few months, and I kept it up. And then after a while, I was like, well, I don't know. I really kind of want to drink, and I kind of want to smoke just here and there, but I was still scared of her drug testing me. Yeah. So my buddy told me, he's like, hey man, I've got this, because he was getting actually drug tested by either the state or for a job or some reason. He was getting genuinely drug tested on the frequent. And he's like, me and my coworkers smoke this stuff. It's called Space. They've also got K2. There's a couple other names it goes by, but it's a synthetic weed. It's like a potpourri. You buy it at either a head shop or like a gas station, and it does the same thing that weed does, except for it's a little more intense, and it's legal. You can just go buy it as long as you're 18. At the time, you could be 18 and buy cigarettes. Yeah. So that was the age barrier. You had to be 18. You could buy this weird potpourri that you weren't supposed to smoke according to the product. You were supposed to light it in the room. And then,
like an incense.
Yes, like an incense. But it literally was sold in 1 gram little baggies that were like vacuum sealed, and you pulled it out, and it looks like a fucked up version of weed. I mean, you pulled it out, and it didn't look quite exactly like weed, but it like had similarities.
Yeah. It was very green. It was very fluffy.
Yes, it was green and fluffy. It looked weed-y. Yeah. If you had never seen weed before, you'd probably think that was weed.
Exactly.
So you'd buy these things in these little baggies. And then the whole idea was that you're going to go home and you're going to fucking put it in a pipe or something. You're going to smoke it. And that's exactly what we did. He had done it multiple times with his friends and had no adverse effects. However, when we smoked that shit, we went outside from his house because his parents didn't give a shit. So we were over there. They didn't care if we smoked weed, but he just couldn't because of the drug test. Right. So my parents did give a shit if I smoked weed, but I was afraid of the drug test. So that was where we're like, fucking yeah, we're meeting up and we're smoking this shit. And about 10 minutes after I smoked it, between when I hit it, I took about 3 hits out of a makeshift thing. I think it was like out of 2-liter. It was an old 2-liter. We made this little bong thing, and I took 2 or 3 hits out of it. We walked back in through his house and back into his room. We turned on Call of Duty. I think it was the World War II one, with the one with the zombies, the first one with the zombies. Yeah. And we turned that on, and we were playing offline zombies. We're playing that mode, and within about 10 minutes, I mean, I went from zero, like not having sober for months, to like just not knowing where I was, what was going on. I was having hallucinations. I had no idea what was going on. I don't remember anything. Like that was a genuine blackout as far as like, I don't know. We started playing Call of Duty, and then from what I know, apparently I fell backwards. My eyes kind of started rolling back in my head. I think I might have hit my head on some workout equipment that he had on his floor. Yeah. And his parents came in and were like, what the fuck is going on? They called the ambulance. The ambulance came. They picked me up. I kind of came to in the back of the ambulance because I was having, I think my brain kind of was trying to tell me what was going on by the time they had me in a stretcher. But again, I don't remember. I don't know what happened. I remember smoking the shit. I remember going into his room, and then I remember being let out in a stretcher. And I remember kind of just having some bit of consciousness. And I was like, so the reality kind of hit me of what was happening. And I was like, I have to find a way. Like, I remember my delusional brain was like, I wonder if this is an ambulance that's from like a small hospital that no one will find out. Like, I swear to God, that was my brain's first area, was like protecting my ego from my family. Yeah. It was like, I don't want my family to know that this happened to me, that I was a fucking idiot and I went and smoked some stupid shit and it almost killed me. But that was the reality of what was happening, was I was being led out in a stretcher as every single one of my close family members had already been called and notified and were there watching me getting loaded up in a fucking ambulance and taken away. And that was one of the most sobering moments I think a human being can have. And it stuck with me my whole life. I mean, I've never forgot what I did to my family that day. It sucks. Some of the people that watched that go down are no longer alive. And it's shitty, but I almost died. They brought me to the hospital and I blacked out. I don't remember, again, I don't remember smoking the shit, or I don't remember beyond smoking it. And I don't really remember much from the ambulance ride or getting to the hospital, but I do remember flashes of family members coming to visit me one by one in the ICU, including my father, whom I love my dad, and I really do. But I saw him every other weekend. Let's just leave it there. And to see him at 3 o'clock in the morning in the ICU, like just a flash of him being there, and I was like, oh fuck! Like the reality, it was really, it's like I am fucked up. And then I remember getting a catheter.
Oh,
and I remember telling them,
no.
they woke me up. They were like, hey man, you haven't pissed in a long time. I guess my organs were shutting down.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need to get this shit out of you. Like, so you have to piss. And they had to run tests with it stuff too. But I was like, okay, I'll pee. But I kept falling back asleep. And they're like, dude, you have to pee or we're going to put a catheter in you. I was like, please don't. And I woke up to them putting it in there. And I was like, oh no, I can pee. Please don't. And they're like, no, it's too late. It's like, you've been doing this 10 times. I didn't know, but they have already done this like 10 times. They've done this. These guys are just trying to do their job. And they're like, okay, dude, it's time to go. So they put the thing in there. I remember just shooting up in the bed when they pulled it out, just like, oh my God, there was so much pain. I mean, I could feel it in this disassociated state. I could feel all that pain because I was still fucking half tripping.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still tripping. I'm in the ICU. I'm half dead. I'm sure I'm sure my body is quite literally releasing the DMT that is naturally in our bodies that starts to release when you're close to death. I'm not exaggerating. Ethan was there. You can ask him. He visited. He was crying by my bedside, thought I was going to die because the doctors were like, well, we don't know. And it was a horrible night. It was the worst night of my life, truly.
Jesus Christ.
It was horrible. I don't talk about it a lot, but it's something that happened, and I want to get.
As fuck,
it was
dude.
traumatic as fuck. I finally came. I kind of came more to after they did the catheter. I think that was because they got some of the toxins out of me or whatever the fuck, and I kind of remember coming to, and the doctor was in there, obviously all the family members and stuff, and they finally, like, my condition got more stable. They put me into the ER instead of the ICU, and that's where I could have more than one person, because in the ICU they let one person in there. That's it.
Yeah.
So in the ER, you could have multiple people visit you, and I don't know. I finally came to as the next morning, and my mom wanted to know like what the fuck happened, like what I did, and obviously everybody was like trying to be chill, because they're like happy I'm alive, but they're also like, what the fuck, man? What did you do? And that solidified my moment as a druggie at 17 years old and almost fucking dying.
Jesus Christ.
And just from synthetic weed. If I would have just smoked regular weed or fucking salvia for that goddamn matter, I would have been okay.
Yeah.
But I smoked that synthetic shit. And apparently what we ended up finding out is a lot of the synthetic weed they use, I used the term earlier, but ragweed is placed into these things. I am a very sensitive person when it comes to allergies. I'm allergic to fucking this, that, and the other thing. Fortunately, not many medications. However, ragweed is like one of the top that, like, if I'm exposed to it, and especially if I fucking smoke it, it's basically, it's like if I've had a shellfish allergy and I smoked a joint out of a fucking used lobster shell. You know what I mean? If I smoked a bowl out of that. That's essentially what happened. Is like, so my asthmatic ass that already has a hard time breathing, inhaled some stuff that I was allergic to. That was an untested chemical compound that shouldn't have been. That it gave people negative reactions, even that the ones that didn't have allergies to the ragweed. So it was a lot of bad things that I did, and I didn't even know it. I just lighted it. I lit it up just like it was a regular bowl of weed. Yeah. And it was a pretty innocent thing to do. I mean, innocent, so to speak. I mean,
right. You assume that the shit's legal. You can buy it at a store.
I thought it was going to be fine. Oh, but even like a thing like salvia, which I ended up kind of catching the ban too, but a little prior. But it's like, Yeah, nuts. It puts you in a horrible. For me, that put me in a horrible spot, not only mentally, but I do think that was because I was dying and my body was probably like reacting in a way that a dying person. Because I remember a lot of fragmented things. You know, it's like I was like kind of watching a movie like shot in like where they just kept doing cuts every like second. So it's like you just don't really know what's happening, but you can kind of see a timeline unfold in front of you, and it was very scary. It was scary, and I do remember the next day when I was finally like good. They brought a therapy dog to me.
Aw.
Yeah, they brought a therapy dog. You know, this is golden retriever. I don't remember
Yeah.
what her name was, but she was this cute little dog. Well, big. It was a big golden retriever. She went room to room when they asked permission to bring the dog in. I was like, yeah, you can bring the dog in. She came in. I got to pet her, and I just felt like I just remember feeling such a piece of shit. I'm like, I'm sitting here. This dog is like, you know, like looking at me and trying to lick me and stuff. I'm petting it, and I'm like, I'm 17 years old and almost just died from basically a drug. I'd want to say overdose, but that would be not right. It was like a drug reaction.
Yeah.
Because overdose would make it sound like I actually did something cool, like heroin or something. Like at least if you fucking die from heroin, it's like, oh, dude, fucking using like Nicky Six, you know, he's doing fucking cool shit. No, dude, I just smoked some synthetic weed and it almost killed me.
Jesus Christ.
So, and yeah, then my mom, again, love her to death, and her punishment for me because I was still a minor and living under her roof. And she's like, you know what? I think what you went through was probably punishment enough, but if you're okay with it, we're gonna bring WNEM5 into the mix.
Oh Jesus.
Oh yeah. So if there's any sleuths out there that really want to dig deep, you can find a video of me. They came to my house like a day or two later, I think, after I had recovered and got home. And she sent a thing out there, and they did an expose called Smoke Stories. That was a collection of stories of people that had a similar experience to me. Because I guess it was a thing going on. It was happening all over the country. I didn't know, but I was a part of this kind of epidemic that was happening, which it's kind of fucked up because now you think about what's the new epidemic now. It's fentanyl. People are dying from fentanyl left and right. And people think that they're buying regular heroin, which I hate to say, but let's just be fucking honest. Let's just be honest people here. People are going to do drugs. Heroin, although it's a horrible drug and it will kill you if not done correctly, but it won't kill you right away with the right dose. Fentanyl will fucking kill you. Will just fucking kill you. And unfortunately, they operate off the same system. And a lot of dealers that deal in opiates will cut shit with fentanyl. And I mean, I've known people that have died from it. I'm sure we all have. As we put this out on the internet, there's going to be thousands of people that have known people that have died from fentanyl overdoses, and they're not really trying to do fentanyl. And I guess that's the point I was trying to make there is like, you don't really know what you're getting into. You're putting this stuff either in your body or you're smoking it and you're doing it. And then it just might fucking kill you just like that. And then people have no sympathy for you. And I'm not saying I don't. I personally have a ton of sympathy for drug users because I almost died from a drug. But there are most people out in society, if you die from a drug overdose, are going to be like, well, you know, Janis Joplin, sorry, you fucking died in your bathtub doing heroin. Kurt Cobain, sorry, you died on heroin shooting yourself in that. I mean, you know what I mean? Is people in society are going to have little sympathy for, not everybody, but for drug addicts. 'Cause it's like you did it to yourself, and they're not wrong. You did, by definition, do it to yourself. But sometimes there's nefarious things at play, and I think that's like a big part of this this opioid crisis. I mean, there's nefarious parties at play, tainting everything with a horrible, horrible drug that will kill you if you look at it the wrong way. I mean, it's kind of like the old getting diarrhea from Taco Bell if you just drive by and look at it. You know, it's like fentanyl is that bad. Is like you just are in the same room and it can like it's not good. I'm gonna hit a quick pause so we can take a second to recollect, and then we'll readjust. We'll see where we're at in a second here.
Yeah, sounds good.
So you said that you also had some experiences with K2. Am I right?
Yeah, but like none so dramatic.
So you can still share them. It's okay, even though they're not as good as my stories.
They're not.
You can still share them. I'm not here to outshine
K2,
you.
back in like 2010, 2011, back in the day before weed was legalized, a time would come where you just couldn't get a hold of your guy to buy weed.
Yeah.
And so me and my cousin, we would hang out and smoke and play UFC all the time. And yeah, dude.
Wait, play UFC as in like fight each other, or play UFC like on an Xbox or something?
A little bit of both. A little bit of column A, a little bit
We
of
do some
column
salvia and do weird shit with each
B.
other.
Yeah, we just wrestle.
Wrestle.
We just wrestle
Wrestle.
around. But one time he brought some K2 over, the synthetic weed you could buy at the head shop.
Yeah, you can get it anywhere.
And I smoked it. It smelled weird. It did. It smelled like potpourri. It was like super like fragrant. And who knows what the fuck they put in it? Who knows?
Perfume.
But at the time, when you're like 20 years old, 19, 20 years old, you're like, it's
You don't give
legal.
a fuck,
it's legal.
dude.
It's fine. It
It's
can't
legal.
kill me.
Yeah.
It's legal.
Because you think that some regulatory body.
Yeah, you think that there's an adult out there
Nope.
watching out for you.
There's not.
Nope, there's not. There's really fucking not.
That's the great thing about adulthood. It's just you, buddy.
Yeah, so anyway, we smoked it. And in my experience, it just made me anxious. I just got really anxious and paranoid. And it tasted like shit. And then I coughed my ass off. I hurt my lungs.
Do you remember it tasting like, or like feeling like weed at all? Do you?
Like a little bit. Like it touched that little nerve. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it twinged it just enough for you to be
It's
like,
almost.
this is
I
like
think it
kind
takes
of
the same neural
weedish.
pathways as like cannabinoids.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah. So it was like, yeah, it was similar. It was like, yeah, if you can't get weed, like this is close enough.
Oh shit! Hold on.
And it
Got an
wasn't
issue.
from there. I never did it again. It was just terrible and garbage. And at that point, like by that point, I could get weed anytime because I used to grow weed for a guy that
Wait, you
had
grew weed?
that used to have
It's
MS.
fucking tight, dude.
He might still be alive. He probably is, which is really fucked up to think about.
What, that he's dead, or that he used to smoke weed?
No, just the fact that he's dead, probably, because he was like almost 40 when I was taking care of him.
He was almost 40. That's nothing.
Yeah,
And he had
but
MS.
he had MS.
But
Really,
my
like,
grandma
really
has
bad.
MS, and she has it pretty bad, and she's still going. She's had it for 32 years.
Oh damn!
As long
Oh,
as
shit.
she got the diagnosis
So
when I was
maybe
born.
He
Yeah,
might still be there.
yeah, he might
I
be.
could reach
Go
out.
check on
I
him.
could-
Go check on him.
I could.
Yeah, no, I don't think God would look the other way on like Dexter. I think they'd be like, no, sorry, dude, but you killed people. You're
Yeah.
done. You're done. Do you ever hear that Bill Burr bit about Dexter? Or like he was sitting there talking. He's like, yeah, he's like, I like that show, but like, I imagine sitting there and like talking to my kid, and we're like playing catch, and he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about killing people, and he's like, well, this ain't Dexter. Like, if like, I'm gonna turn you in. But that's that's cool. I'm glad you're talking to me. It's like, don't do it.
Definitely.
No,
don't
God.
do it.
I don't think God would be very cool with that. But I mean, he should be, or they should
yeah,
be.
if you're like
right?
going like Old Testament God, like
Old Testament God was
some
fucking
fucked
pissed
up
all the
shit.
time, dude. Old Testament God was a fucking force to be reckoned with. Like, I think if you were to take like Superman versus Old Testament God, even without kryptonite, I think Old Testament God would win.
Yeah,
Because I think you're just done.
it's true.
I think you're cooked.
He sent 2 bears after he killed a bunch of kids because they made fun of a bald guy.
Yeah, that's not cool, dude. We make fun of bald guys all the time
All the
here.
time. It's my favorite thing.
The president made fun of bald guys.
That's the one thing I
on
had.
Joe Rogan's podcast to a bald man. I mean, come on, it's if that's the line that we're drawing, we're kind of fucking done.
Oh, we're definitely cooked.
We're cooked.
We're cooked.
We're
brother.
totally cooked. What do you think about? I don't know. What do you think of where we're at? What do you think is going to happen?
In society,
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen?
I try not to think about it.
I try not to think
but
about
I do
it too.
think about it constantly all day,
As
every day.
apolitically as you can be, how would you feel? Not because we care about offending somebody. It's just like it's just boring. I don't care about fucking Trump, Biden, Kamala. It gets
Yeah.
boring. I mean, where do you think we're at as a society? Like, how many years do you think? Because I've lived my life since like 17, thinking that we've been on the brink of like something.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've been wrong. I don't, because I remember, so when I turned 18, when I could vote for the first time, Obama was running for his second term. So that would mean, what, 4 years later or 3 years later, we had Trump running. So Trump has been a person in my like sphere of knowledge since before then. Obviously, I knew who he was before that, but
Right.
but he's been a candidate in my life for like things for like what, almost 14 years now.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy
Yeah.
if you think
'Cause
about it.
He ran in what, like 2000?
He actually ran in the 90s.
22,
He ran in like the late 90s or something like that, but he didn't make it very far. And then when his actual campaign after Obama was what, like when Obama was ready to leave office. That would have been what, 2016. So it's been. Was that
9
it?
years.
Was that it? 28? Yeah, because Bush was president 2000 to 2008, and then Obama was president 2008 to 2016. So yeah, so Trump's been a thing since 2015. It's now 10 years later.
Yeah. And it's
So
crazy. It's crazy to
it
like
gets
look
old.
back on like my mindset at the time, like when all this shit was happening.
Yep.
And it was just a big joke.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, the fucking because what? Who did the fucking Republicans have before that? They had Mitt Romney, Mitt Romney, Mitt Romney,
Mick fucking Romney Jagger the third.
Who was that old bitch that was a POW? What the fuck was his name?
Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren ran for Republican office. No.
Yeah, we call her Pocahontas. Which is genuinely funny. It's honestly funny. I don't.
That is honestly funny.
It was really funny.
What the fuck was his name? John Kerry.
Oh,
no,
right.
not John Kerry. John Kerry ran against Obama.
No, he ran against fucking Bush. You're way back. Yeah,
Dude,
Bush.
yeah.
John Kerry ran against Bush. John
This is why
Kerry.
you don't do drugs, kids, because it all mixes. Like,
I know.
You don't know
Well, to be fair,
anything.
that's also getting old. I mean,
Yeah.
and all the same people running all the time doesn't help. I mean, it's like Bush Jr., by the way. There was another Bush, too. It's like,
Yeah.
how many fucking doubles do we need to have? That's the cool thing about Obama. It was like,
Like,
if
he was
you
new
told
blood.
me
He was new blood,
2025,
dude. He was
Jeff
just
Lee,
fucking cool
2025, a black man, runs for office. His name is Barack Hussein Obama. In 2025, how far do you think this man gets?
Nowhere. You think he goes nowhere?
He couldn't get elected
so proud
today.
Of us. I was so proud of
Everybody
us.
was. The whole world was like, dude, you
everything
got it.
is so good.
We're like, sure. We're like,
I'm
yeah, we
ready
got
for
you, bro. We're
change.
fucking.
Yes, dude, we beat racism.
We beat it.
fucking beat it.
No, we did not.
Nope. All
No.
it did was embolden all those fucking assholes, which is
Yep.
crazy because like you see, like my dad was huge into like he was a Tea Partier, like he
Oh, the Tea
would show
Party.
me
so,
the birth certificate, the whole time.
birthers, dude, the birthers. I missed
And
that.
I was just like, these fucking crazy old white assholes. There's no way they're ever gonna fuck up our country.
I've told you in confidence, but again, if we're having a fucking intimate podcast tonight, I'll tell you, the last conversation I had with my grandfather before he passed away unexpectedly, like most people, was that I called Trump the Antichrist. And I do genuinely, like, I'm not trying to laugh at that. It sucks. Like, it was shitty that was our last conversation. To be fair, and I want both anybody, my family or friends listening or random people, I want you to know, I did say I love you before I got off the phone. I said, Grandpa, I love you. I don't think we're going to see eye to eye on this. I'll talk to you later. And then like 4 days later, he had a massive heart attack and then went into the hospital. It was during COVID, like the first year of COVID, like 2020. And then we couldn't go and see him like at certain times. It's weird. And then we were planning to go and see him in the morning at like 8 o'clock. And at like 4 or 5 in the morning, he passed away. Because he had some complications. We don't really know exactly what happened to him. He just had a heart attack. We went in there and then had something else happen to him. Because I'm pretty sure he either ambulance or he drove himself there. But like, he was a stubborn old man. I'm pretty sure he drove himself there after a heart attack. I don't know. Either way, it was sad and it sucked. But I did, I had a lot of strong feelings, and I still do. I think I've become more forgiving of people that have gone down that rabbit hole and voted for him. I think it's time to stop demonizing our friends and our family. I do understand the reason why, and it's very frustrating. Trust me, I cannot even get into how frustrating. I did a whole video on Joe Rogan. I mean, that guy, I'm just going to say it, dude. That guy to me was almost like a small personal hero at some point because he was,
for sure, dude. Because he
was a guy,
he was a part of the
zero to hero,
manosphere.
dude.
It was this idea of this guy like who he worked out and he knew he was willing to admit his faults. He was willing to admit how much he didn't know. He was like, I'm going to bring on people who know what the fuck they're talking about.
Hit that hard spot. Right there.
Yeah,
right there.
Right
sorry.
there.
I just wanna make sure. Oh my God.
Come
That was, I
here,
just
girl.
love that in the bottom corner of the video, you can see yourself straddling the microphone with your hand.
So,
but yeah.
No, it's crazy to kind of see that and to be like,
to be witness to it all,
what
too,
does that
in
mean
real
about
time.
me in my belief system? That like I was cool with somebody who
Like that.
was admittedly an idiot and was just bringing on other
Because we're fucking idiots.
Other
You and me are
grifters.
idiots. And
That's
everybody
true.
we know is an
That's
idiot.
true.
But it's not because in a bad way. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I love you to death. And all my friends and family, like, we're all just fucking idiots in some way. We have, even no matter how smart you are, or no matter what your fucking thing is, like, you're gonna have so many blind spots in your intelligence. I do. I have so many. I mean, I just like Joe Rogan would admit that I am fucking stupid. I am an ape. I have an ape with a smartphone and a fucking microphone, and I have now a camera, and I can sit there and be an ape with other people.
Isn't this crazy that like all this electricity is just capturing our visages?
Yeah.
Our visages?
It's crazy.
And our words?
The whole thing's
and
crazy,
it's
dude.
being uploaded.
If I
for
sit there and
posterity?
think about too much, if I
It's
think
nuts.
about like the technology behind video and picture and audio, like that shit makes me go crazy because I'm like, who figured all of this out? Does anybody sit there and think about that at some point? You're looking around at all the stuff around you in your car, with your smartphone, with your fucking AI assistant, and you just kind of stop and think for a second, like, what the fuck is all of this? What is going on? I literally cannot. I don't know how a phone works. I couldn't recreate a phone from the ground up. I don't
Fucking
know.
magnets.
I hardly know how fucking magnets, dude. I hardly know how a fucking car works. I have very good friends that know how cars work, and God bless them. But fuck me running. If you disassembled a car or had an issue, you know that thing where you like lift up the hood, you know, and you're looking at shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm doing that for show.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
I'm doing that so I don't look like a complete total
exactly.
asshole.
You're like,
I'm
no,
gonna
I can
try
fix
to
this.
diagnose this, but I don't. Oh, that's the engine right there. I see the engine.
Exactly.
I see that the oil. That's
where
where
I
the
put
oil
my
goes.
windshield
Yeah.
wiper fluid.
Yep.
right
That's
there.
that's a little low, by the way. Maybe that's the problem.
That's it. Maybe I need to take my car.
There's not
through
enough blue in the engine.
The humors of my
humors
engine
are out of
It
And
needs
that's
more yellow.
Dude, that's the thing.
bile.
It's like you joke, but if someone were to take like a car or like a smartphone into the past and drop it off and just leave, like that, they'd be doing the same shit. They'd be like, okay, this is the black bile, this is the blue bile.
Yeah, let
they'd
me
be
take
doing
this
that
phone.
shit.
They'll be putting leeches on it.
Oh,
They'll be
dude,
like, what
absolutely.
Can I
put that shit on
extract
rice. Soak it in rice for
Soak
a
it
little
in
bit.
rice.
Ancient man soaking in a cell phone in rice. We've
me
talked
too.
about drug
Me too.
abuse. We've talked about society. We've hit Trump, fucking John Kerry, all the relative people. George W.
dude.
Bush. Yeah, super relative.
Dude, my heart goes out to Howard Dean.
Super relevant.
Dude, fucking Howard Dean.
Howard Dean.
That poor guy.
He did not make it far.
He did not.
Is that the guy that fucked himself over by having one bad soundbite? Because he went, yeah, he
he was
fucking, he had a weird sound, kind of almost very similar to how Elon Musk does his weird little noises. He made the same kind of noise and it fucked his campaign.
Yeah, exactly. They were
completely.
done. They were like, all right, don't fuck this
That
guy.
guy, I do remember that guy. That's really funny. Cheers to that guy.
Cheers to Howard
Howard
Dean.
Dean.
Howard
I hope you're
Dean.
doing all right, buddy.
Yeah, me too.
Do you have any updates on Howard Dean?
Let's
Pull it
find
up.
out.
Pull that shit up, Jamie. Is he alive? Just tell me he's alive.
He is. He
Okay,
is.
thank God. Thank
Yep.
God.
Yep.
We're happy. We're happy to hear that.
Howard Dean. He
Howard
was
Dean, you
born in
sexy
48.
motherfucker.
He's 76 years old, living in East Hampton, New York.
Is he still in office?
He ran for Democratic. He was the governor of Vermont.
Damn,
for
Howard
some years.
Dean. Okay.
Yep, he was. He
All
was.
right.
Yeah, he ran
I
as
see
a
you.
Democratic candidate in 2004, which is how dated my fucking references are.
That's really funny, though.
Yep.
It's only 20-year-old
And,
reference. It's only 20 years old. It's still good.
Yep, he's a doctor.
Dr. Howard Dean.
Yeah,
We've
dude.
mispronounced
he
him
has
the
a
whole
medical
night.
degree from Albert Einstein College of Medicine, which sounds made up as
That
fuck.
does sound made
It
up.
does sound very made up.
Yes,
Like,
I have doctorate from Albert
I'm
Einstein
the Nikola
University.
Tesla Institute for
The
Smart
Tesla
Bitches.
Institute.
Tesla
The
Institute.
Tesla Institute for the very well gifted and all computer.
Mhm.
It's
I
all
have
computer.
an honorary degree from the Smart People's
The
Association.
Smart People Association, the Genius
The
Foundation.
Genius Grant. Yeah, I got a Genius Grant for being such a smart piece of shit.
Dude, that's too funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, hey, don't forget our last sponsor. Hey, I'm on. So right now, this is Angel's Envy, and what do you have over there, my friend?
This is an Evan Williams.
Okay, so we're gonna cheers,
Thanks.
and then we're gonna taste test, and we're gonna swap too. Okay, ready? 1, 2.
Am I only
3.
drinking half?
Yeah, fuck you.
Okay.
Okay, I've had a half shot at Angel's Envy. Now swap me. I'm gonna try your Evan Williams Another Angel's Envy, it's smooth. It's got a port finish. It's a little grapey, to be totally honest.
Okay, I like grape.
Yeah,
I
I like it.
people
I
all
like.
the
Okay,
time.
so if we're gonna give Angel's Envy like a rating, I would say Angel's Envy is probably a 7 out of 10.
Okay,
I'd
that's
say
not
it's a
bad.
6 or 7. It's good. It's
Listen,
very good.
Evan
Is it
Williams-
worth $50?
Evan Williams is definitely worth the money.
Evan Williams,
I will say
for sure.
that 1,000%.
That's the thing, is you can't let that affect your score, though, because I would want to give an Evan Williams a 10 out of 10 just because it's only $17 up for a fifth
Yeah.
and it tastes delicious.
Yeah.
But we need to not base these things based on money.
If you're looking for a good mixer, dude, Evan Williams,
Yes, it is
McMasters.
great.
If you want to support Canada, fuck yeah, Canada.
Fuck yeah, Canada,
with
dude.
you.
We're with you.
We're
We're
with
sorry.
you.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
we're sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
He's sorry.
I'm sorry. We're
We're all
both sorry.
sorry
We're
about
both
it.
sorry. We support Halifax. We like the Trailer Park Boys. We
Absolutely.
like. I like that's the
Absolutely.
only thing I know about Canada is maple syrup and Trailer Park Boys.
Dude, I don't support Ryan Reynolds anymore.
No, we
I
don't.
used to.
We're on
He's
your
problematic
side.
now.
You guys gave him to us. We're gonna take him. That's our L. We're gonna take
That's
the
our
L.
L.
We're taking Ryan Reynolds.
Justin Bieber, I hope you get better.
I hope you guys can take. Yes, me too.
I hope you get better.
Ryan Gosling, you guys keep him, not because we don't want him, but because he's really good, and we don't want to corrupt him with our Americanness.
Facts.
You need to keep him safe for a couple of years while we sort out our mess here. So go take Ryan Gosling back, keep him in a safe place. We're going to keep Ryan Reynolds, and we'll continue to corrupt him and make him a bad person.
Yep.
We got to drink this and go because I need to figure this out. All right, so now I'm doing the Evan Williams. Smooth. It's a little bit more, it has that more of like that barnyard bourbon kind of fucking punch, the Evan
Yeah,
Williams.
for sure.
Whereas the Angel's Envy has kind of
It's
lost
smoother.
that.
I feel like it's a little sweeter.
The Angel's Envy is sweeter and
it's a little more
smoother.
commercial.
Yes. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining us for our very first video episode. I hope you guys liked it. We're going
This is
to
for
do
you, Zach.
This is for you,
It's
buddy.
all for
It's
you,
all for you,
buddy.
buddy. Yeah, shout out to our only Patreon member right now, Zackajuia. We love you so much. Thank you for being there. We're going to continue to bring you guys. Wow, I can't talk. I need to sign off for the night. You guys take care. I'll see you next time, okay?
I love you. Kiss me with mouth.
I love you more.
Did you enjoy this episode? Then check out more at 999.network, Mid-Michigan's premier podcast network.